So there are two ways you can buy a business, or sell a business for that matter. You can buy all of the business's assets in order to run that business, or if the business is incorporated, you can buy all the shares of that corporation and then you become the owner of that business. So really, from a practical point of view, at the end of the day, there is not much difference in how you go about purchasing the business. Whether you purchase the business as an asset, or as assets rather, or shares, when you take over the business, you will be running the business. Now, from a legal perspective, there's a big difference between buying the assets and buying the shares. If you buy the assets of the business, you're essentially saying, I'm buying all of the equipment, all of the buildings, the client list, the intellectual property, the ongoing contracts. You own all that. And then once possession date happens, you are the new business. So from a liability point of view, you're not inheriting any of the problems that your predecessor or the vendor had during his tenure. So if there is a lawsuit and it happened under the vendor's watch, then it's the vendor that gets sued. And you go ahead and you continue running the business. Now typically it costs more money when you do it that way, and you have to pay more taxes, such as PST on equipment. And if there's buildings to buy or land to buy, you'll also have to pay land transfer tax. Now, on the other hand, if you buy shares of a business, the business itself exists as an entity. What you do is you end up just taking the place as shareholder from the vendor. So if you want to think of it as a bus, the bus being the business, the vendor brings the bus to you, gets off the bus, you get in the bus, and you start driving the bus. It's the same bus that you're driving. So if there's any liabilities kicking around out there that began, that no one may know about, when the vendor was operating that bus, you inherit those problems. Now the advantage from your perspective is typically there won't be any taxes to pay, and you should pay a lower price because all of the assets have been depreciated on the books. You won't have much depreciation left, so you should get the advantage of a lower purchase price at that point. So there's more liability when you buy the shares, and when you buy the assets, you usually pay more money.